Helena, we're very sorry, but the company has decided to move in another direction. Your role no longer fits what we need. Hello, my name is Helena. I'm 55 years old, 15 of which I've devoted myself to a company that was now discarding me like an empty paper cup. When my boss, Robert, called me into his office that morning, I already knew what was coming. The cold look, the corporate posture, the measured words as if trying to mask the disrespect. Helena, we're very sorry, but the company has decided to move in another direction. Your role no longer fits what we need. Translation. That day I was fired. After so many years of dedication, I was being replaced, and worse, by a 25-year-old woman, without half the experience I had. But Robert and his superiors thought she would be cheaper and, perhaps, better suited to the company's new image. Little did they know that this dirty game had been in my plans for months. And that I was one step ahead. When I started at the company, it was still a small organization with disorganized processes and a team that was not very engaged. I always worked overtime, solving problems that were not even my responsibility, but I knew that if I dedicated myself, the company would grow and they would recognize my efforts. In fact, the company grew, and a lot, but they never recognized my work or even valued me. But regardless of that, I always continued to dedicate myself and do a great job. I was the one who implemented efficiency standards, who created internal systems to optimize the workflow. I was the one who trained new employees, and without receiving any extra pay for it. I spent years ensuring that things ran as smoothly as possible. I followed projects from start to finish, led crises and helped expand the business to a level that Robert would never have reached on his own. I was more than an employee, I was one of the pillars that supported that place with all my efforts. And yet, there I was, discarded without any consideration. So when I was coldly discarded, I felt a deep sense of outrage. How could they be so ungrateful? How could they ignore everything I had done? But the anger quickly turned into determination. They might not value my experience, but I knew exactly what I was worth. I left there with my head held high. The team looked at me with pity, as if I were devastated, but the truth is that, inside, I was smiling. After all, justice has curious ways of acting. For years, I was more than just an exemplary employee. I knew the company like the back of my hand. I knew its mistakes and its successes. More than that, I knew the secrets that kept Robert and the directors comfortable in their chairs. In the months before my dismissal, I observed and took notes. I saw fraud disguised as accounting adjustments, contracts made without transparency, deviations that no one dared to question. And I kept the evidence. With my departure official, I calmly sat down at my desk at home and started taking action. First, a meeting with a lawyer specialized in financial crimes. He helped me organize all the documentation I had collected over the years, building a solid case against the company. Then, I made an anonymous visit to the press, giving them the latest information about the irregularities I had discovered. I made sure everything was well-founded. But my revenge was not limited to exposing the company. I wanted to rise from the ashes and show that my skills did not need to be held in a place that did not value me. With the compensation I received, I invested in business management and administration courses. I sought out mentors and networked with former clients and partners, those who had always trusted my work. I spent sleepless nights planning my new company. Within a few months, I founded my own business consultancy. Using my vast experience, I began helping small and medium-sized companies grow, offering management, organization, and process optimization strategies. My name, previously tied to the old company, now became synonymous with independent success. And, to my surprise, many of the clients I had gained over the years began to seek me out. Some of them, dissatisfied with the way Robert's company was being managed after I left, decided to move to my consultancy. I didn't have to go after them. They came to me. It was definitive proof that the value of a professional is not measured only by cost, but by the real impact they have on the business. 3 weeks later, Robert's company was in flames, and not just metaphorically. Scandals were splashed across the newspapers, investors pulled their support, and Robert was forced to resign to avoid further damage. As for the young woman who replaced me, fired along with dozens of others, victims of a system that used her as it used me. But me. I was free. Free to do something of my own. At 55, I was finally my own boss, working for companies that truly valued experienced professionals. And ironically, many of the employees who had previously worked for me began to seek me out, asking for advice and even opportunities at my new company. I welcomed them, because I knew that many of them were talented and that, like me, they had also been underestimated. They had no idea what was coming. But now they knew that underestimating a woman like me was their biggest mistake.